How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we actually do this 5 days out of the work week. I was unable to do a video on the Friday, so I'm going to make up for it today on the Sunday. So here it comes. Do you want to hear a joke about paper? Never mind. It's terrible. Right? Not too bad, too. So anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. We were looking for it to test the $8 range, and it was able to do that on the Friday. It did end up having a healthy pullback, but we're going to talk about that further and what we want to look forward to. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and the trend that OCGN is going in. I'm getting a lot of comments saying, well, this stock barely moves, it's not even making any improvements, it's just trading flat. And you know what? I'm actually going to show you in the technicals what's actually going on. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership in regards to filings. And then afterwards, we're taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know where institutions loading up on shares on the Friday. The reason why this is key, because it can give us a good indication of a bullish spike that's going to be coming. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $7.53, being down 1.05%. On the low, it tested $7.52, and then on the high, testing $8.08. You guys knew I was looking out for that $8 range. Now, when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 15.139 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 18.11 million shares. So even though we did have below average volume on the day, we still stayed consistent in our tight range. Now, when I take a look at the 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, we are right around 50.81, so it's right in the middle. And when we take a look at the moving averages on the chart, we continue to have strength above the 200-day. We are below the 100-day, but one thing I love to see, we are sitting right on the 21-day EMA since we closed at 753. And like we saw in the past, we were using the 50-day as support. But one thing that I want to bring to your attention very quickly here, many people are saying, well, you know what, the price is barely moving for OCGN. So let's go as far back into June. So back in June, we were testing an area of support right at $6. And then when we come right over here to July, you can see we had an area of support where we formed right here at $6.35. And then we move over and we come into August, we had support here at $6.68. Move on further now, going towards the end of August, we have support here at $6.84. And now here we are going into September, we have support at $7.07. And look where we are holding down support really above that 740 area. We were able to close at 750 on the Friday. So OCGN is doing better than you actually think. And this is part of the reasons why you need to have patience. But anyways, when we talk about where it tested $8.08 on the day on the Friday, no shock that it pulled back because there's going to be a lot of selling pressure here and a lot of profit taking. So what I want to see going into Monday, and especially for the rest of the week, I want us to be able to get past this $8.08 range so we can make that power move and go all the way up where we start seeing some resistance right here around $8.71. This is a level I would love to see. And if we end up getting that EUL news, and we already know this stock is going to break out. It's been in an accumulation phase for quite some time, and we have been seeing some higher lows. Now, if it does decide to pull back, I want to see a continuation of that 50-day serving as support, because as long as we end up having that, then we can look forward to seeing these strong spikes when they do occur. So let's see what happens going into Monday. So we're taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here from the recent filings from the 24th to be exact, we have small cap growth fund that went in with just under 30,000 shares. We also have small cap blend index fund institutional class that went in with just under 290,000 shares. And look at Fidelity here going in with just under 1.4 million. And we can see Schwab, JP Morgan, Morgan. So institutions are definitely loading up on OCGN shares. When we take a look at the short interest information, scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.6 million, updated 17 minutes ago, and the short ball fee rate is at 2.17%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 23rd, it was at 46.91, and now the close for last week, Friday, being at 50.91. So the short volume ratio has been creeping up for OCGN. So what this tells us, yes, there's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock, but also it does have short squeeze potential. So if you have a lot of buying volume coming through, we could see some very strong moves to the upside. So continue to keep this on your radar. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we could see here on the inflow, it was 29.25, and then on the outflow, it was 26.73. So we ended up having an inflow day. So when we look at the breakdown on the large, we had 0. On the medium, we had 20.26, and then on the small, we had 8.99. When we take a look at the outflow side, we can see on the large, it was 1.24. When we see the medium, it was 17.91. And then we take a look at the small, it was 7.58. So part of the reasons why we end up having an inflow day, you can see we had a surplus on the small scale and as well as the medium scale orders on the inflow side. So this does show us retail has been buying up those shares on the Friday. No surprise, because we did make a strong pop going to $8. So I could see there was a lot of FOMO buyers saying like, hey, I need to get into this play to get prepared for next week. Now, when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, taking a look at September the 24th, which was a Friday, we have an outflow of 1,240. And the reason why this does not bug me whatsoever, it's not much at all. We had low volume already on the Friday. Yes, we did end up getting some strength in the early parts of the morning session, but of course, profit taking is something that we have to get used to, especially if you're in this play. And we already know that $8 is a psychological level. So of course, we're going to be having some selling that's going to be going on. Now, going into Monday, keep a close eye on OCGN because there's going to be a lot of FOMO. And I feel that as far as retail is concerned, there's going to be a lot more buying coming into the stock, especially since we're going to be expecting a decision sometime in early October. Hey, it can even maybe come before that. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, there's a few things I would like to go over. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, we still see it continues to have short squeeze potential and shorts continue to be heavily vested in this play. So this is why when we end up getting buying pressure like we saw on the Friday, we can see strong moves to the upside and actually testing into that $8 level, which I was talking about for quite some time. Of course, we had some selling pressure and resistance from the profit taking, but as far as for the pullback is concerned that we had towards the end of the day, I still feel like we are in a very healthy position. And part of the reason being is we have been seeing increasing levels of support since June, and this is what you really want to see. And we don't really get a lot of news updates and so forth. So overall, in general, you really can't be mad with how the stock has been performing. So I know I get those, hey, well, the stock is barely moving, it just trades sideways. Hey, I'm still bullish and the charts are continuing to show that. Also, when we took a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see from the filing, institutions have been loading up on shares, and we know already they are looking for a return on their investment. Why would they bother taking a position in a company that has no chance whatsoever in regards to getting the EUL? And this is one thing I want you to understand. Add it to your homework, add it to your due diligence so you can have high conviction in this play. And if you don't have high conviction, then you shouldn't be in this play in the first place. As far as for the EUL is concerned, we are expecting a decision in early October. There is a possibility we could be getting a decision earlier. So one thing that is clear, I can see a lot of FOMO wanting to get into the stock as we get closer going into October. And that's one thing you want to be aware of and making sure that you have the right entry. You have no business to be buying at the top. This is not a smart thing to do. And of course, since this stock is super volatile, you already know it's going to have pullbacks, it's going to have up and downs. So you want to make sure you are maximizing your entry so you can maximize those profits when we do end up getting that run up on that potential EUL. I want to make sure I put it out there. And also, before I close this video out, one thing I want to talk about is instant gratification. When you are investing in the stock market, it requires patience. You have to wait for plays to come together. In year 2020, I know it was easy to see, well, stocks were running up very quickly. It didn't take much time whatsoever, and that's something you have gotten used to. And especially if you just came inside of the market, you're like, hey, what is going on right now? And what I'm here to tell you, if you want to be successful, you want to make sure you practice patience. There's many people who have sent me messages saying, hey, man, OCGN popped up to $8. I ended up selling at a loss. I could have broken even, or I could have even made some profits. So keeping that in mind, just know whatever play that you're in, if you know there's a certain process and there's operations that are going through and things are going to take time, then know, hey, if I'm going to make an investment or if I'm going to be making a trade, I'm going to be willing to wait. If you know you're going to be impatient, then by all means, you should not be a part of this play whatsoever. You could save your hard-earned money and put it somewhere else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.